Marvel United. So right now there's a Kickstarter going on for X-Men United, which is actually the first Kickstarter I've ever backed. I'm a big X-Men person. I love the team. I love the idea of mutants. And I missed out on the Marvel United Kickstarter last year. I did manage to pick up the base game from Walmart. This one is a special edition one with the Venom figure, the Venom hero figure. And while this isn't a review of the game Marvel United, because I actually haven't played it yet, this is a review of the insert slash organizer by Go7 Gaming. So let's talk about this insert. This is the insert the game comes with. Plastic. Okay, I'm being a little ridiculous. This insert is actually perfectly fine. It has good cutouts for all the figures, all the miniatures, and it's not like the kind of plastic where it's very tight and it grips the miniatures very tightly, because the cover will keep them in place. So if you are the kind of person that paints their miniatures, you don't have to worry about struggling to lift it out of the plastic. They come out just fine. They even have numbers on the bottom to tell you which spot to put them in. Slots for the cards as well, and little spaces for the punch outs on the bottom. This is perfectly fine. So this organizer that comes with the box is absolutely perfectly fine. I don't think anyone's gonna have a problem with it really. But I'm just the kind of person who's a little bit OCD about my board game collection. I care a lot about the storage, organization, I care about the presentation. I like to paint my miniatures, for example. I like to sleeve my board game cards. I do stuff that I feel enhances the game and the experience of the game. And that's what this organizer from Go7 Gaming is. It's an enhancement. It's not a necessity. You don't have to have it to enjoy the game. But for me, it enhances the presentation for one, it enhances the setup, the teardown time, and if you sound like me, like that you paint your miniatures, that you care about your presentation, your organization, you're gonna wanna check this out. But now let's take a look at the insert from Go7 Gaming. In my opinion, this insert is absolutely fantastic. As you can see, there's enough room to store the entire base game with room for actually up to 9 more miniatures. So if you have one of the expansions, you can have everything stored in one box. There are 3 basic components of the insert, which is the card storage, and everything just comes right out too, which is really cool. Card storage, you can have all your cards organized individually. The miniature storage, and lastly, this has a box for the tokens with a lid, which is absolutely incredible. I love this, especially because I drive a scooter. So when I put my board game in my backpack and I'm traveling to go somewhere to play, the last thing I want is to show up and all the tokens are just scattered around in the bottom of the box or wherever. This keeps everything in place, organized. It has sections for each token, and it's great. I love it. I also wanted to mention with this insert, for certain larger figures, they have a larger cutout. So figures like the Hulk, he's not going to fit in the small one. So he goes in here, along with some other larger figures from the base game. From what I understand, they are making expansions for the other Kickstarter bonuses. So figures like the Falcon or larger figures with wings, stuff like that, they're not going to fit in this box. But I'm sure they will make accommodations for them in upcoming releases from Go7 Gaming. It's also worth noting that taller figures, like Captain Marvel here with her mohawk, they're a little bit higher than this edge here. So if you're putting your mat and other flat accessories on top, putting a tall figure will make that stand up a little bit. But they do have a section here for taller figures, so they're still below the line of the box, which is great. Right, so when we talk about organizers like this, we have to talk about the build. They don't come pre-built, which is part of the fun for me, but also can be kind of a headache depending on how well or poorly it's built. And this one from Go7 Gaming, in my opinion, is one of the better ones that I've built. Maybe even the best. The instructions they give you, nice, clear, color-coded, labeled which plate you're going to use for which part. For example, this one is the card and the token storage tray. And each sheet of these punch out wooden pieces has the numbers on the bottom, and it tells you exactly what organizer it's for. This one's Marvel United 001, 7 out of 8. And then you look on the instructions. Okay, well, 7, plate 7, this is used in the miniature storage part. So that's actually really, really cool. I've built other wooden organizers. I've built some foam organizers, and I have not seen instructions this clear and this well laid out so far. So I like to use wood glue when building these wooden inserts. And one thing I noticed about this one is that they actually give you what they call glue cleanup sticks. They're just little sticks you can punch out, and I actually use these to apply the glue to the joints and everything inside the insert, which makes cleanup easy because you're not using your own paint brushes that you have to clean up. Even if it's an old brush that you don't care about, you still want to clean it. But these are disposable. You just throw it away when you're done. Great innovation, and you get a lot of them too. So as I've said, I'm the type of person who likes to paint my miniatures, and eventually these will get painted. One concern I have with this, as with all wooden inserts as opposed to the foam ones, is how well will they protect the paint job? Because, as you can see, when you lift it up, it does make contact with the sides of the box. Unless you're an expert at playing Operation, and you can lift it straight up without touching the sides, there is a risk of damage to your paint job. I'm testing a few things to try to mitigate that right now, as you can see here. Maybe applying some gloss varnish or some wood glue or some PVA glue. One of those three seems to be the best in terms of giving it a more smooth surface if it has to come in contact with a surface that might not scrape the paint. I'm going to test that more in depth in a future video and let you guys know, but that's an option you can take if your concern is about the paint scraping. Otherwise, that's just an inherent thing with these wooden inserts. The foam inserts for protection of paint is probably the best, but with foam, you usually don't get boxes like this for your tokens or storage for your cards with little dividers. So that's a downside with foam. So one thing I've mentioned before that I'm really happy about is the fact that it has a lid for all the little punch outs and tokens. So the way that the lid goes on, it actually has ridges that it fits right into, and it keeps it in place. I'm gonna do a shake test. Oh! So it didn't pass the shake test, but that was a stupid test for this product anyway, because this isn't designed to be just thrown into a backpack or just carried around loosely like this. It's designed to fit right inside the box, and the way it fits inside the box keeps the lid pressed closed. There's no way that would happen in a real life scenario, unless you were planning on just throwing this into a backpack or just like tossing it around. Then I hope that my little test has discouraged you from doing so, or else you're going to be spending 8 minutes, just like me, picking up thugs off the ground. So, final thoughts. What can I say about this insert? I love it. It's great. It impressed me during the build so much that I picked up the camera and I started filming this video before I had any other content on this channel, before an introduction, anything like that. That's how much I like this. Is it necessary? No, not at all. But it does exactly what I was looking for, which is to enhance the presentation, the storage, organization. It does that fantastically. The best I've seen so far. And I'm excited because, like I said, I backed the Kickstarter for X-Men, and I have all the expansions coming. I'm excited for when they produce storage for the expansions too, because if it's going to be of the same high quality, then the whole collection is going to be great. So it's very easy to recommend. I give this 5 Disneyland wizard hats out of 5. If you are one of the backers of the original Kickstarter and you have all the expansions and you want a nice organization system for it, definitely recommend getting this. Thank you for watching.